Oh, look at all these familiar faces that I haven't seen in such a while.
Long time no see.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Cloak and Stagger with our podcast. I'm not scrying, you're scrying. Where we talk about, what's on our minds, what's happening. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. Actually, I'm a little sleepy. I fucked up my sleep royally yesterday, but besides that, I'm doing good. Holidays and stuff, right? It's been kind of all over the place.
You have a good Christmas?
We got New Year's like right around the corner too. Are y'all doing anything for New Year's?
No, fucking sleeping.
We bought a ton of booze at the store today, and we are hanging at the house, chilling. Kira has started her very first playthrough of The Witcher 3.
Ooh.
So I've actually been enjoying sitting on the couch, just observing that.
So you're gonna be doing that on New Year's Eve, huh? With
yeah, probably on New Year's Day too.
Hey, man, nothing wrong with that. I don't think I've done anything the last like 2 or 3 New Year's, honestly, except play games with other people on the day of.
So fucking jealous right now.
Have you guys watched Witcher in preparation for going into Witcher 3?
There's no way they prepared that hard.
So me and Kira watched the first season of The Witcher when it originally came out, and she was fairly, like, a little indifferent about it. Like, oh, it was good, but, not my favorite.
Didn't care to watch more?
So then the season 2 trailers started popping up,
right?
And she was like, you know what? I'm going to go back and watch season 1 again. You want to watch it with me? And I was like, sure, but like, watch it and like I'm familiar with everything. Like I'm good. So you watch it at your pace, and I'll pop in and out as I'm available. So not only did she watch the first season again over the course of a couple weeks, but she watched it with fucking subtitles so she could understand everything that was being said. She was constantly pausing it and like looking up, who's this person? What's their deal? Asking me, hey, who's this person? What's going on with this situation? And then we wrapped up season 1, and she was very invested in it. And then season 2, I shit you not, Christmas Day, we watched season 1 all the way through the final episode in one day and binged it. And now, and because of that, she's like into it. And now I just bought The Witcher 3 again for PS4 so she can play it on the PlayStation.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot of preparedness, dude. If only she treated her cleric in our D&D games the same way. I'm kidding. Don't tell her that. Don't let her see this episode, okay? I'm just joking.
So, well, I mean, truth be told, because she made a comment about like the fantasy style setting of The Witcher and was like, a lot of this is like D&D, and I was like,
it's in the wheelhouse.
Strange that there's a correlation there, huh? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it might be a bridge, a little bit of a bridge there.
That's the only game I'm familiar with where you can simultaneously romance like 3 different women and they get real pissed if you do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mass Effect maybe a little bit, but not as much. They're like, oh, I can't love you till you don't love them, and then you can just click I don't love them anymore, and you're good to go. But Witcher, it's like
committed.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you piece of shit, ha ha ha, and it has a little funny scene. Have y'all seen that? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Dude,
I YouTubed all that stuff. I get super curious about that.
The Witcher is one of my favorite games of all time. It's a game that I have consistently gone back to and replayed through multiple times in the face of having a ton of other quality games that I have not even started yet.
Yeah.
Like, that's my Skyrim to a lot of people.
I'm like 1 or 2 episodes in this season 2, and they said something in the episode that I don't want to spoil anything in the season, but they say something that heavily references Witcher 3, and it immediately made me want to go download it and replay it. And I even had a couple hours today, which is really rare, where Jackie took the kids out to the park, and I was like, all right, I got a couple hours to play something. And I booted up the PS5 and saw Guardians of the Galaxy, saw Tales of Arise, saw Spider-Man Miles Morales. And I was like, I just don't feel like jumping into any of this.
Wait, you saw those like one after another, like you were binging?
No. I have those games downloaded, and I was like flipping through them.
Oh,
Like, what am I gonna play? And I was like, I don't feel like any of this. So I started the Witcher download, but it didn't get done in time to really get into it.
that's a fat game, isn't it? Like 40, 50 gig, one of them.
Yeah,
Yes,
maybe
it
more.
is quite large.
Yeah, and there's a PS5 upgrade for it, so it's got the fat textures.
This is the second version of The Witcher 3 that I have. The first one, it does not account in my Steam library because it was the physical copy of the game that they sent with my GTX 970 when I bought it way back in the day. But even just on this second one, I've got 170 hours put into Witcher 3, and I haven't even touched the Hearts of Stone expansion.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of going to Blood and Wine because it had that like it sounds cooler than Hearts of
Right.
Stone, and B, when I was kind of looking at which one I needed to go to, they were like, well, Hearts of Stone is great, but Blood and Wine continues the main story of Geralt and everybody, and that just kind of grabbed me. And then once I finished it, I was like, okay, there's really no point for me on this playthrough to go back to Hearts of Stone, so I need to do that.
I've bought the game on Steam, on Galaxy, CD Projekt Red's store. I have it physical disc on PS4 and digital download for PS4. I bought that game 4 times.
You've bought Witcher
And
4
Steam.
times?
And Steam 5 times. Or did I say Steam first? 4 or 5 times, yeah.
Jesus, man.
Yeah.
Great
And
game.
you haven't played through it once all the way, have you? Or you've tried
Yeah,
to? Or?
yeah. I've played through it all the way through once.
Oh, okay.
Full completion. Yeah. All the side quests, everything.
I have not gave it the respect I probably should have. I tried to play through The Witcher 1 because I don't just want to start on 3, and I don't know.
Start on 3. Just start
on
on 3.
3. It's one of those. So what's really cool about The Witcher 3 in particular is that when you start the game, one of the options it asks you is, would you like to simulate as though you played through Witcher 2? Would you like to simulate a Witcher 2 save? And you can say yes,
Ooh.
I know what the fuck happened, or you can say no, and it changes certain things in the game. It changes certain pieces of dialogue in the game. So instead of just assuming you know this, it tells you in a very clever way what happened. And
There's secret things you can do though, right? They like impact later things you run into.
yeah, I mean, there are dialogue options that do, everything ultimately ends a certain way, right? There are a few different outcomes, but it all kind of, it's like a diamond, right? You start at the bottom point and then it expands, into the widest point, and then it kind of condenses again towards the end. But there are decisions that you can make that will have effects later on in the game for sure. And the story
can you choose
in
that?
Witcher,
Making a new game?
yeah, absolutely.
Oh, fuck, okay.
And the story in The Witcher 3 is, in and of itself, a self-contained story as well.
Yeah.
That you don't necessarily need to have a whole lot of knowledge of what happened in the prior games to enjoy it.
Yeah. And the other 2 are just clunky as shit.
Yeah,
They don't
they're very
hold up.
clunky.
So, Witcher aside, we've got some topics.
Oh yeah, we do
discussion.
have a topic list we normally go by, don't we?
Uh,
Fuck the topic list. I'll talk about The Witcher. I don't give a shit.
I'm ready for season 3. That's all I'm saying. No spoilers for 2. The end of 2 has me ready for 3, and it seems like they are being respectful, mostly, of the source material. I'm done.
There's a lot of controversy over season 2. A lot of hate because it allegedly does deviate
It does.
Especially with Yen, deviates really, really hard from the character.
So I'll say this, just as any internet brigading ever, right? I read that and went into season 2 understanding that there was going to be something that's like, what'd they do? And it was not nearly as egregious as the internet would have you believe.
Sure.
It is something that's like, don't think that would have happened in the game or, in the books. But again, they take certain liberties for the screen. I don't think it's nearly as egregious as they say, and by the end of it, it doesn't really make that big of a difference, I don't think, anyway. So,
where season 2 is the chopping block for Netflix, typically, like they're a bit infamous of like if something isn't gonna go 4 or 5 seasons, they cut it at season 2.
Right. So we'll see. I guess.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't think they've greenlit anything yet.
They haven't. What's the lead writer or whatever of the show has said like she's ready to write 9 seasons or something like that.
I'm here for it.
The source material is written, right? There's not really a ton of thought that needs to go into it. It's just
like the first few seasons of Game of Thrones.
Right.
The source material's there.
And Cavill said he'll play Geralt forever.
I love Henry Cavill. What a gem.
Yeah, I love him.
That dude's cool.
I'll be his boy servant. I don't mind.
What an absolute unit.
If he is. I love watching interviews where like people will try to like throw a nerd culture thing at him, like to try and catch him or something, and he just responds in the absolute nerdiest way. With just the deepest understanding of whatever lore that's being talked about. It's fantastic.
One of us.
100%. So, speaking of Henry Cavill, we'll transition into, he played Superman. That's the transition into the topic of superhero burnout? Question mark. There's been 10 years of superhero movies and they don't look to be slowing. Yeah, they don't look to be slowing down.
It's gotta be a circle jerk here then, buddy, because fuck that, bring on more. I love those movies. I keep loving them. I live for that shit. I get tears in my eyes when I see the hero do some awesome, cool shit while having some tragic shit in the background. I get a hard on for it. What can I say?
No circle jerk here, bro. Disagree.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have an opposing opinion from Mr. Halt.
Oh shit, really? You burn out on heroes?
Not entirely, no.
Do you think you can take this?
Yes, I probably
Someone's
can.
getting a talking to.
Yeah, he wants me to take the.
Oh, look at this strong man. You
Dude,
just
open the pickle
right
jar.
Now.
Do it.
Oh, that's a nat 20 all day. Nat 20 all day, baby.
Strength.
No, I don't think this comes off. I think you just spin it and nothing happens.
No, yeah, that's a grinder. You don't take
You
it
turn
off.
it upside down and you grind it.
We bought special salt things that are like automatic grinders.
That's a salt grinder, you
your whole-
uncultured fucks.
Oh my
No,
god.
no,
Stop what you're doing right now.
No, y'all don't understand. This thing, we have another salt thing to pour all this into, to where you hold it like this, and that shit just grinds by itself and spits the salt out.
That's not made to come off, though.
Well, it's gonna come off tonight.
That's a built-in grinder, bro. That's a built-in grinder right there.
Okay, we're gonna slam it on like a corner.
Oh my god.
See? Goes in the
Yes,
I
that's
see
great.
that.
And you can get things to put into the grind. You have 2 grinders. You have a grinder in both hands. You're dual wielding grinders right now.
How'd you do the pepper, Kim?
Oh, I already had pepper.
Oh. All right, we're gonna break this. We're gonna break it later, okay? I can't break it right now.
You guys are gonna use a saw.
Oh my god. I'm so triggered right now. I feel like we need to transition the topic to this right now.
Oh man, superhero movies. Love them.
Has America devolved into I don't know. No, so how do I say this?
They're raw. From the heart.
I think there are a lot. So yes, I am experiencing superhero burnout. Every time I see another DC or Marvel, like anything, it's not at the point where I'm rolling my eyes right now, but it's truly gotten to the point where it's like it seems like almost all there is anymore. But it's more, for me, it's more specific to putting out a superhero movie for the sake of putting out a superhero movie to try and grab the cash that's there.
Right.
The new Spider-Man was fantastic. I was hyped for it. I was excited for it from the time they announced it to the time I watched it. I actively avoided spoilers all the way up past the point of seeing it. I didn't have anything ruined, and the movie was like a 9 out of 10 for me. I enjoyed it thoroughly and would watch it again. But then when I look at other titles, when I look at things like, I don't know, The Eternals, I still have not seen that, and I have no desire to, because it seems like a I don't know, a superhero movie just to make a superhero movie.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Then let's be more specific here. So, if they made another, okay. Oh, for fuck's. Okay, that grinder I showed y'all earlier, Sal bought him. Sal bought that grinder. The electric grinder was Sal. Salvo, you and Chad. Hey, Sal, how you doing? He bought the grinder. Kim, you got the grinder? It was from Sal. All right, moving on.
Sal says hi in the chat.
Hi, Sal. So.
Go ahead.
What was I saying?
Oh,
okay. I know what I was saying.
Go ahead.
So the Eternals, I get that. I heard bad things about that immediately. I didn't really give a shit about seeing it either. But you said you were super stoked and hyped for Spider-Man. So if you knew they were coming out with superhero movies and they were going to be on the tier of the new Spider-Man that just came out, would you be hyped for it every time, or would you think you would eventually get skeptical of that too?
As of right now, I'd be hyped. But then if I think about other movies that's not necessarily hyped on the same level as the new Spider-Man, but still, put up on a pedestal. So the new Venom movie, don't give a fuck about it. Haven't seen it. Have no desire to see it.
It kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. I saw that recently.
Right, and same with Hawkeye. They announced it. I didn't really give a fuck. Still don't really give a fuck.
Did you finish it?
I watched it, and I watched it all the way through, and I enjoyed it. But the thing is, it's like, hey guys, guess what we have coming? You're gonna love it. Hawkeye show. It's just kind of groan-inducing a bit. Hawkeye was a little bit of an asterisk because it ended up being done really well. But then when I look at things, again, like Venom, and I can't comment on Eternals because I haven't seen it, but it has inspired zero. I have yet to have one person come up to me and be like, dude, fuck yeah, dude, the Eternals was the shit. It looked awful in the trailers, and all of the villains were super uninspiring, and the CG was kind of, but aside from that, it was fucking cool. Go see it. Nobody said that to me.
So let's dig a little deeper. Actually, you go ahead, man. I want you weigh in on this too, and then I want to go a little bit deeper on it.
So I'm sort of in the middle here. But I think what you're describing, JD, is just good movies and bad movies that happen to be in the superhero genre.
Correct. And it just seems like there's an abundance of superhero movies lately of one form or another. Even if it's not just Marvel, it's like, oh, here's a movie about, a made up super shit that we created for this.
Yeah. And I mean, I wasn't hyped for Spider-Man. Like, I was interested in it, but I wasn't hyped about it. But I saw it. It was awesome. Like, it didn't blow my mind, I think, in the way that a lot of people hyped it up. But I thought it was awesome. It was really good. And I was more so excited about the implications to the MCU at large.
Yeah.
And, like, that level of writing, I think, is very good and interesting for me. But yeah, I mean, I super agree. Like, there's absolutely a lot of production being done in the superhero genre for the sake of being in the superhero genre. I look at Venom and I think that's fine to do a Venom movie, and it could be really good. They're just written terribly. They're just bad movies.
Yeah.
It could be good, right? And then I look over at like John Cena doing a Peacemaker series in HBO Max, and I look at that as a pure money grab. Like we're
Right.
just trying to do a superhero thing to drive subscriptions, but this is probably going to be really shitty. You know, it's a popular genre, and it's gone on for a really long time at this point. And yeah, it's oversaturated. I also have not seen Eternals. I'll watch it when it comes to Disney Plus next month, when it's, you know, free for me to watch.
Yes, absolutely.
But I expect it to be shitty, right? I from it being way over marketed, and then all of these B-list celebrities that were tacked onto it just scream like this is going to be a bad movie, and I'm not surprised that, you know, it was, you know, according to everybody.
Okay, I want to go from the foundation up on this. I want to know first. I want to start with Mr. Moose. What is your definition of a superhero movie?
My definition of a superhero movie?
If you had to describe a movie as a superhero movie, what would it need to meet that? Like, for example, would I Am Legend and Spider-Man be in the same category as superhero movies?
No.
He's a superhero and I Am Legend.
So
Are
that's
you
why I'm asking
talking
him to
about
define it.
what was
because
the
you-
other
you-
Will Smith movie that he was like a superhero?
No,
yeah.
I know that movie, but I'm specifically referring to I Am Legend. So then the example is, here's this last guy on the, you know, one of the last unsick dudes. He's trying to come up with a cure. He sacrifices himself to do so. That's
a hero.
Pretty fucking. That's
He's
pretty
a hero.
heroic.
But not a superhero.
That's a Nickelback hero, not a
So what-
superhero.
okay, so that's a Nickelback hero. So to be a superhero, he has to just have something that makes him
He has to have supernatural
above
power.
human, supernatural power. Okay.
Four Plays is a Nickelback hero.
Yeah.
That
He's
would
an
be his
Enrique
movie.
Iglesias.
Nickelback.
I'll be your hero.
Hancock. Four Plays
like a
is
shitty
the
version of
Hancock
Hero.
of our friend group. Yeah, I think for a superhero movie, they have to be.
Tom Brady documentary.
They have to. I think that they need to possess some sort of power or skill that exceeds that of the average human being, or even that of like a master in some sort of skill, right? So I think Daredevil is maybe a good description here. So with Daredevil, you're talking about an ordinary dude who possesses, just through sheer will and training and skill, the ability to outmaneuver and effectively combat his enemies, who a lot of times do have abilities that are not natural, right? So a superhero movie to me is somebody who is not even necessarily lawful good, right? But somebody who is doing the right thing against impossible odds, using a skill or a power that is not natural to the average person.
Okay, that's what I was looking for. So Daredevil is a superhero in that description.
I would
Yeah.
say Daredevil's a superhero.
Batman's super rich.
Batman is super rich. And
That
I
is a
am, I
superpower.
saw this earlier in the chat. I am excited for the new Batman movie. Not as excited as I was for Spider-Man, because, you know, I feel like Batman, it's been done so many times now, and everybody kind of has their own take on it, that I am excited for it, but it's not as high up for me.
So what about non, I don't know what to call them, AAA hero stuff? Like, what about a superhero thing but has nothing to do with like Marvel or DC or anything like that? Like, I could argue that Geralt, actually, we were talking about The Witcher. Could he not be a superhero with his magic and heightened sense shit?
I think so.
I think fantasy is a little. I think there's a pretty clean line between fantasy and superhero, but I would say something like, what was that? Like number 4. I mean, that was a while ago.
There was a movie with Rainn Wilson called Super. That was kind of a dark, very dark comedy with what's her name? The guy.
Rainn Wilson.
Yeah, it was the guy
That's
formerly the chick from fuck. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
Now look it up. There was that movie that was handy cam
Page.
shot.
Ellen Page.
Ellen Page. Well, that's Elliot Page
Well,
now.
so
You'll
Rainn,
do well
at
to-
the time
to
of
mine.
filming, Rainn Wilson and Ellen Page, who is now Elliot Page.
What was that? There was a handy cam movie of like these kids that found like a meteorite that was underground, and then they all got superpowers.
I enjoyed that movie.
I forget
A
what
little
it's
cringy,
called.
But yeah, I enjoyed it.
But yeah, like that's a superhero movie that has nothing to do with DCEU or MCU. Sure. But I
Okay.
think where saturation has naturally entered the market is the genre's desire to expand beyond like the household super names. Right? They're trying to explore some of the lesser known characters.
Eternals.
Yeah, I mean Eternals. I mean, even
Guardians
to
of
an
the Galaxy gets
extent,
better,
like
too.
yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy.
That was extremely well done.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like it's well done stuff versus poorly done stuff. The Netflix series, right? I think other than Daredevil, which I mean still borderline, but like Punisher hadn't. There was that shitty Punisher movie a while back, but like Punisher hadn't been done. Jessica Jones really hadn't been done. Iron Fist hadn't been done. That ended up being shitty, but good shows versus bad shows, right? But I think like
Cage.
that. Yeah, Luke Cage, which I thought was really
I
good.
enjoyed Luke Cage, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're trying to find, and like that is a that becomes a self-imposed problem, right? Where one, you're doing all of these different storylines of lesser known characters, so now you have to go do all of these different projects, and then some of those are going to work out, right? And then now we have a whole line of characters that all need their own shows or movies, and it becomes a lot.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head. Like with the amount of superhero movies and shows that are out and are coming out right now, in order to really, for me personally, to really get my interest, it has to be something that's extremely well done, and has the right writers and the right people behind it.
I think it's
outside of that, it's whatever.
I think the bar for cinema in general is just really high right now.
Well, as long as they do it like the most recent Spider-Man movie, though, they shouldn't have an issue. That shit was.
Yeah, I mean,
That
it's
was good.
Like I said, the thing that really I love about the MCU is the interconnectivity
Yes.
of the storylines in the movies. Like that intrigues the hell out of me, and it naturally makes you want to see the next part in the series. And I mean, what they did with the Infinity War era, like, culminated in such a perfect way. I'm excited to see what a second era of that ultimately turns into.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't-
Go ahead, Jamie.
When I think of superhero movies, I don't know. The first thing that came to mind to me was, okay, what do I think of superheroes? And then I thought of every superhero I like, and my brain immediately went to Anime Land, which I don't know if that could be made the same argument for, like the Dragon Ball Z's, the Bleaches, the Narutos, where it's all the one kid or dude, and then he like rises against bullshit and then does really well and that type of stuff, which is kind of the.
You're the cis white male
trope.
hero the world needed.
I love shonen animes. I don't know any other way to fucking put it. Yeah. But that's what I think of when I think of superheroes in general. And I get there's I mean, they can kind of just poop out movies like that sometimes too. Like we'll reference the Venom movie again, which if anyone liked that, I'm sorry. I watched
Yeah.
it recently with Kim, and it was kind of just, it looked cool. It's just it felt weird. It felt rushed. It felt, I don't know, a whole bunch of shit. Either way, I don't know if I go as far as to say it's oversaturated as much as they're trying to just put out too hastily certain ones to have them exist, and that's it.
I think that's right. I think that's certainly right. And I would say Venom falls in that category for sure.
Yep, which is very unfortunate because seeing him in on the level of the Spider-Man movie stuff combined, like you said, would be really cool, wouldn't it?
Well, that's and without. I think we're past the moratorium on some things for sure, but there are certain things in the post credits of Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man, that allude to
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers.
Spoilers of the latest Spider-Man.
Mute for the next 30 seconds if you don't want spoilers of potential upcoming Marvel shit. There are things that they allude to in the post-credit scenes that seem to indicate that at some point there will be a non-Tom Hardy Venom in the MCU Tom Holland Spider-Man universe.
I saw that, and
I
you
mean,
know what I feel immediately? I feel bad.
Black Symbiote Spider-Man.
It could be, but immediately the first thing I think of was, and we're still in that spoiler territory. If you can see the end credits scene, they pulled that dude in for like a cameo, showed that hey, this might be part of stuff in the future, and now it just might not even be the same actor and shit. It's just, I don't know, it's weird.
Well,
it feels
so
weird.
so here's my thing about it. Let me put this on the screen here. There we go.
Spoiler.
There we go.
Boy,
I mean, it could be. For those who don't know, the bartender is Danny Rojas from Ted Lasso, the
Really?
Jason Sudeikis Apple TV show.
Interesting.
So I don't know.
So
maybe
I had a little bit of a different approach to it, Jamie, in that I like Tom Hardy a lot as an actor, and I enjoyed him for the most part in the first Venom movie. I didn't like their portrayal of Venom overall, and like the dynamic between them was very awkward,
The weird
to me.
comedic.
Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
awkward. So the way that they have done this kind of in some ways gives them a clean slate for Venom in the MCU to take a different approach to that particular character in
Which,
this
just as an
universe.
aside, I actually refuse to see Venom 2 just because of Carnage's casting.
Mhm.
like the dude,
Woody Harrelson.
the human.
Woody Harrelson. Absolutely hate that choice of casting. I won't watch it.
It reminded me of I remember that dude from The Walking Dead, like the redneck dude, but not the cool one. Like
I did
Daredevil, the other
Zombieland.
guy. Oh, that's that guy. Is it that
Yeah.
guy?
Yeah.
Oh,
Who would you
Why do I
cast
like
as
that guy?
Carnage then, Matt? Says Sal.
That's
a big question.
I'd have to give that some thought, but
I made fun of. Say the wrong answer.
yeah, I'd have to give it some thought. I mean, I don't want to say this because it
Chris
sounds
Pratt.
Chris Pratt with an Italian accent. And I think it could be a surprise casting, right? Like this is a little cliche, but like I think of how what's his ass Heath Ledger did Joker, right? That was sort of a weird but worked out really well casting.
Mhm.
For Carnage, I need somebody threatening and menacing. And like I get Woody Harrelson looks crazy, but he looks crazy in like he eats crayons type of way, not in he's gonna rip people's faces off type of way. He doesn't have the menacing element to crazy, and I think you need an actor that has that real, like, true insanity behind their eyes. And
What about the I can't think of his name right now. Forgive me, but what if it was the guy from No Country for Old Men? The fucking psycho dude with the bowl haircut.
maybe. I mean, you need a
Javier
skinnier
Bardem?
dude.
Is that his name?
Yeah, maybe. That's impressive if that is. I think
Did I
you
do
need
that?
a little bit of a skinnier dude just for the framing, but yeah, I mean, somebody with that cold look, sure.
Javier Bardem. No, that's not. Wait. Is it him?
Maybe.
It is him.
I don't know actors at all. I don't know fucking actors.
How did I dig that up from the bottom of my stupid brain?
You knew somehow.
So yeah, so I
Okay, Robert Patterson.
Robert Pattinson.
Just put him in.
So yeah, I think having a clean slate for Feige and the MCU team to kind of at this point they've earned my.
Venom's gonna be played by The Rock.
There you go. He's got to
Dude,
pause them
fuck
Disney
yeah.
movies where he's in jungles for a little bit, right?
Fuck yeah.
And then Kevin Hart's gonna play Carnage.
Yep. And then Ryan Reynolds will be somewhere in the middle.
I'd watch
mean,
it. Y'all
Deadpool.
lying if you say you wouldn't watch it.
Put Deadpool in there.
Yeah,
I have
the Rock burnout is
way more
real.
than superhero burnout.
It's true.
100%.
You have rock burnout?
Yeah, that motherfucker needs to learn to say no to a script.
I haven't even watched any of his movies in like a long
Don't.
time. I mean, like since like Tooth Fairy, I think.
There's
watched-
actually a
watched
meme where
Red
it's like
Notice.
6 screenshots
It's all the
of
same.
him in a khaki shirt that's buttoned up way too tight around his chest in a jungle, and there's 6 different shots, and he's in the same outfit in the same goddamn jungle, but it's 6 different movies.
Yep, that's what I was referring to.
I did watch Red Notice.
I did.
I think
It was fine.
On Christmas it was fine. It was fine.
It was fun.
was
Which we'll go ahead and use that to transition to the next topic of everything is a subscription.
Everything is a fucking subscription, and I hate it. I hate it because I'm bad at budgeting. You know what a bad at budgeting person gets when everything's a subscription? I don't know what the fuck I'm paying for.
their money away.
I don't know where my money goes all the time. I should probably fix that, but you know, fuck me, right? I'm lazy. Don't
Dude,
take
I love
it.
it. What are you talking about?
You love it?
Yeah, dude. I
So
love
I mean, it's what
I love
everybody asks
money
for.
mysteriously disappearing from my accounts
Oh.
every month.
But I'll say, like, the consumer. This is what consumers asked for,
True.
right? Everybody was tired of paying a $200 television bill. And they said, "Let me pay for just the things and content I want." Here you have it. Turns out you want a lot of fucking stuff now because everybody's pumping out some good shit.
No, I counter that. Trap
Okay.
card.
Counter.
I counter that. I agree with the fact that yes, there is a lot of stuff that we want to watch, and I called this years ago
Yeah.
that all of this shit was gonna continue to be segmented and segmented and segmented and segmented into other services that you had to pay for individually until it becomes the same as paying for a goddamn cable bill. And here we are, like, oh, if you want this show, you need Paramount Plus. Nah, fuck you. You want to watch Parks and Rec? That shit's not on Netflix anymore. You got to get
Full
Peacock.
circle.
You want all this other shit? You got to do Netflix. You got to do Hulu, but only if you do the live TV in Hulu. And then if
Yeah,
you
the
do, you
bonus
got to
Hulu.
have Amazon Prime to do this. But Amazon Prime, whatever, because it comes with the shit I'm already gonna get anyway. That's fine. But fuck you, Jeff Bezos. So yes, there's a lot of shit, but it used to be condensed into less things that made it more manageable to, say, oh,
Well,
I
it used to be
subscribe
condensed
this.
into Netflix.
Yeah,
Yes.
it used to be just Netflix.
and it
It
needs
was
to go
all
back.
Netflix.
It needs to go back to that.
I'm not even referring to just TV and shows and shit though, man. If I want to do the best Photoshop, that's a subscription. If I want to play this awesome game, the older ones now they're getting away from that. That's a subscription.
Which free
If I want to
plug.
play Nintendo Online, that's a subscription. It's everything's a fucking subscription, and I know shit. I might be paying for 19 to 20 subscriptions right now.
My
if I went through
dinners
my
are a
stuff.
subscription. Hi,
Yeah,
HelloFresh.
HelloFresh.
Hello, yeah, that's a
Sponsor us.
subscription. Yeah, good call.
Sponsor
There's
us.
just there's so fucking many. It's
A free shout out for if you're wanting like a decent Photoshop-ish service, photopea.com. PEA.
Wait, is it just online?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's just a web-based, but it's pretty damn close to Photoshop.
Double Meat Gravy Bowl says, you gotta family plan the subs. You know, you get one, somebody else gets another, and somebody else gets another, and then you all just log into each other's shit.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, what you're talking about did happen, right? Like everything was just $9 a month on Netflix 15 years ago.
But here's the thing, I wouldn't even mind paying the equivalent to what I pay for all of this bullshit now to have one email address and password to log into this bullshit.
Well, you just need a login manager if that's
You need different passwords for every one of them because
another plugin for LastPass, highly recommended.
And I'm sure I need a subscription for the login manager as well, don't I? That's $5 a year, huh?
You do need a login. You do need a subscription, an annual subscription if you want it on desktop and mobile. You can have it on one for free, but if you want it on both, you got to pay an annual fee.
I pay $10 a year for my password manager to manage the fucking passwords to all these things.
I do.
I live on the edge. I have like 3 passwords.
So I am also like that. I've actually been thinking about it a lot this week, totally absent of us planning on having this conversation. But because I saw my Spotify subscription pop up on my phone like a few days ago, and it was $18.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, God damn, I'm paying $18
Wait,
a month.
it's $18?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Okay.
You got to go check on that, right? Yeah, but I was like, I mean, well, I think I do have a family plan on Spotify, is why.
Oh.
But yeah, I was like, fuck, that's a lot of money. But yeah,
Just reminded me, I gotta cancel my Spotify. I haven't listened to it forever. And my Roll20 account, both subscriptions, both still ticking.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I am happy about providers who have other services are bundling some stuff together. So like I get HBO Max for free through my AT&T cell phone plan.
Ditto.
Amazon Prime Video with Amazon Prime. So like those are great value adds where obviously I'm paying $200 a month to Amazon Prime. So it's a value add. It's not free. I use this term a lot with my wife.
You said $200 a month?
$200 a year, whatever,
Okay.
for Prime.
Wait, why $200 a year?
Whatever it is, 120, 150
or 120, yeah.
Yeah, they raised it. But because my wife always says, "Oh, this is free," and I'm always very quick to correct her of, "No, it's included. You've paid for that privilege."
If
So, I
Team
mean, stuff like
America
that's
taught me
nice.
anything, it's that even freedom isn't free. There's a
Freedom
hefty
is a
fucking fee.
there's a price for it. But yeah, I mean, like I'm certainly in need to go through my credit card statement. And
It's
say,
worth it buying one of those apps now, dude, that you can.
pay for
I don't
an
know how
app.
they work, but you have to pay for the app, yeah. But essentially, you would open it up and it shows every fucking subscription you have and has a button like that links you directly where to go to cancel shit. You know what I'm talking about? This exists. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
So
And-
instead of like forgetting, like I just did and remembered Spotify and Roll20, it would be on the list and be like, oh, I don't use that shit, and I just hit it and cancels it for me.
Let me also remind you both that I have a personal stake in this shit being way too segmented and overly complicated, in the fact that every single day that I go to work,
Oh boy, here we go.
I have to sit there and scream internally as somebody says, "Let me get my book of passwords," and pulls out a
Let
binder.
me make sure my 18 services are working before you leave.
Yes, this thick, and starts opening
Christ.
things up and scrolling through pages of poorly organized and poorly written email addresses and passwords are scribbled out and rewritten underneath with lines that then loop up back around and point to another area on the page with a new password. But wait, they had to change that one. It's on page 67.
Nope.
About 9 times until we get them logged into Netflix,
Nope.
Amazon, Hulu, Tubi, YouTube, ESPN, Disney Plus. Like,
That's a big
fuck
no for
off
me.
with this stuff, dude.
Can you see the login screen? My job is done. All right.
Yeah, actually, you have to do that too, don't you? Like, you can't just leave them hanging and be like, I got other jobs. I'm sorry, we're not here to set that up. You're actually there to set up all their accounts because it's included in shit, isn't it?
Correct. Unless every now and again we'll get
that.
somebody that's like, oh man, I'll take care of that later. You guys have a good day. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, because what's gonna go
so
wrong
much.
if like there's nothing that goes wrong once they log in their account, other
I
than
think
they
going
have
wrong
an
is
account.
they can't log in because
Yeah,
I
they
don't
got the shit
know.
and they
Pick it
want
up
to
with
use
that
one
I
else.
don't know how to use it.
I don't know how to. Why you
How
say the
do I-
redneck voice, huh?
How do I pick a movie?
That's the clientele that says that shit.
Yikes! It's a big yikes for me.
Oh,
I have learned what has to be the equivalent of a Tibetan monk's level of patience.
Oh.
That is rough.
So for me, I'm fine with subscriptions. I think we all have an addiction to consumerism.
I mean, okay, you want to be real for a second? There is I can't think of an alternative to the current system. The current system is convenient and it's easy. It just relies on the user to be a bit more organized and responsible, right? Am I right on that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so
To an extent.
that
To an
being said-
extent. Yes.
It needs you to be disciplined to not pay for every fucking thing under the sun because you want to watch one show on the 2,000 shows service provides.
Yeah, hopefully someone listening to this stream is taking that to heart.
She's not.
I don't know. She might. We'll see if she yells at me in just a moment.
If you get a salt grinder to the side of the head.
Yeah, we just see some come flying in from the side of this camera.
Yeah,
But
there's
I
just
mean,
too many. There's too many, man. Everything's a subscription now.
I'm over
I
it.
don't like it.
But the original content's getting better.
I think overall, yeah, there's still definitely quite a few misses.
I
but-
think Netflix might be something that I like. Try.
There it is.
There it is. I think Netflix might be something that I probably try to like subscribe to once a month, maybe quarterly or biannually, and like binge on all the original shit that came out in the last 6 months and then cancel it within that.
See, that's
I might
just
do
too.
something.
That's
A lot of
that's too
management.
much. That's too much.
But guess what? I'm gonna save $200 a year doing that.
That's hard.
Mm,
I
It
can't.
is,
I
a
couldn't.
little
I
bit.
couldn't. Plus, Kira's constantly watching. What was she watching? Some bullshit show called Emily in Paris. It's the worst thing I've ever seen.
But if you don't have Netflix, you never sees it.
it's
She
true.
doesn't know.
I'll burn Netflix to the ground before I watch a season of that. awful
Netflix is
show.
trying to get into gaming.
What?
What's your trash opinion?
Netflix is trying to get into gaming.
Come in here
What?
and say that shit to my face.
Yeah.
Okay,
Netflix
are
is-
you want to transition to bitching about too many platforms selling the same shit and making us choose,
Hold on.
and then
I've-
sometimes having exclusives?
I think I've awakened the sleeping beast.
The beast is ready to come get you.
Uplay,
Don't
Steam,
Touch
Epic
a
Games.
hater.
Don't be a hater.
And it's not Emily in Paris. It's
Oh, Emily in Paris.
Oh,
Fucking
shit.
excuse me.
Go.
correct your ass with the right enunciation.
classic,
It's
and
not.
I love it.
It's fantastically awful.
I
It
still
sets the
love it.
bar. It sets the bar for what awful television could truly be. Congratulations.
Wonderful wife.
Go.
Loves it.
Go sit on an omelet du fromage.
Wonderful wife, love you. Horrible taste in shows, if that's your thing.
Patrick says he can confirm it's awful.
I still love
Patrick confirms that it's awful, therefore awful.
Four plays, backing them up.
If white men say it's bad, must be.
All right,
Yeah.
what were we doing? Oh,
Yeah, subscriptions. Yeah.
We're gonna cancel Netflix. Tell her.
we're canceling Netflix, and also
And Paramount
Josh
Plus
says hi,
and Disney
Kiwi.
Plus and Hulu.
Josh.
What else was there?
Yeah, I have Hulu, Netflix.
We have it all.
Yeah, I think I have it all.
We have it all.
Don't have Tubi.
I have
Don't
an
have Paramount Plus.
I have an
Yeah,
antenna.
Paramount Plus.
We had stars through Hulu or whatever because it was like a thing. It was like, oh, add it on for $1 or something.
Yeah.
And we were like, killed it. And it's like, let's do Paramount for a minute instead because right now we have a weird, we've gotten hooked on Ink Master. And so we're just watching tattoo competition.
Ink Master's on
every day.
Netflix. But it's not the
Only
newest.
2 seasons. So they had
Oh,
season 1 and
see.
season 2, and then they took down season 1 and 2 and put up 3 and 4. And then after 4, the other 9 seasons are on Paramount Plus. And so we just finished season 6, I think, today.
They're doing the hop for South Park and Rick and Morty is what made me start thinking what is going on with this show.
I'm super upset that there's no service that has season 5 Rick and Morty. There's none.
There's one, I think, Adult
None.
Swim subscription. They have their own.
Yeah, the Adult Swim subscription's it. Like
Uh,
HBO Max paid for rights to Rick and Morty, and they don't have season 5, which fucking
I have
pisses
a
me off.
buddy with a Plex server that has all of it.
A Plex server?
The Pirate High Seas.
Oh. Well, I mean,
So
there's always web
Plex is just
stuff.
a media program, and you can basically, if you have the right IP address and stuff like that, you can connect to somebody else's Plex server that they've set up at their house on their own storage and stream shit from their library.
It's just like media share then. So someone
Yes.
else already has it legit, and you're just kind of piggybacking off of it.
Yep.
Huh.
Shout out
In
to the
terms of
Plex
service
server
and that,
guy.
yeah, it's gonna
You
come
know
get
who
you.
you are if you're watching this.
I feel like they're skirting the line with that shit.
FBI's
Oh no,
coming for you.
it's far beyond the line. It's far beyond the line.
Oh damn.
Yeah. Gotta go cancel some shit after this.
All right. Well, what else we got? We got subscriptions suck, but
The
they're
James
they're necessary.
Webb Telescope launched earlier this week.
Oh fuck! I actually know nothing about that. When y'all got to catch me up.
It is
fucking awesome.
It is actually not hyperbole, the greatest human achievement to date.
Humans.
Really?
Yes. So the James Webb Telescope is will be a long distance telescope. So it's going to sit at the Lagrange 2 point, which is a point past the moon. So if something fucks up with this, we can't fix it. But it sits at a point past the moon. The Lagrange point is a point of fixed gravitational space. So sitting at this point will actually lock it to the moon's gravitational pull. It actually sits between Earth, the moon, and then the sun. So
Okay.
Earth, moon, satellite, or telescope, sun. And it sits right at the balance point where it sits in a gravitational lock between all of them.
Does
Super
it
massive
it's
fucking
telescope, right? Like it zooms in hardcore.
So it's
as
not an
space?
optical telescope.
Oh.
I believe it's an infrared telescope. But the
does that mean?
telescope, so it doesn't look at normal wavelength of light. It looks at a different wavelength. So Hubble is an optical telescope, which is great. It can look, into fairly deep space, but if it sees a gas cloud, or if a gas cloud obstructs the view of something, or a galaxy is mainly dust, right? Can't see past that. And also light just takes forever to travel. Light doesn't take forever to travel, but we have such a big universe that that light can only go at light speed, right? So it can only look so far into the universe. The big thing with the James Webb Telescope is that it will look past all of that shit, and the telescope itself is a giant tennis ball court size of multiple hexagon plates made of gold
Ooh.
that absorb 1 photon of light per second. So across this big tennis court sized gold slab, it will record 1 photon per second. And to put that in perspective, when you look at a star in the sky, you receive about 1 million photons per second.
Oh.
So this thing is going to get 1 photon per second, and it will slowly collect these to composite an image together. So it will stay extremely fucking still to lit 1 photon at a time. It's like building a fucking 8K image 1 pixel at a time.
So it's gonna take a long goddamn time for it to show anything.
So it has to sit at a fixed point. It can't move in the fucking slightest, and must record that space for a very long time to get a composite image. But it will be able to look all the way back. 13 point something billion years into the universe's history.
Okay, you worded that so fucking weird. So it looks all the... I'm hearing like the startup of an IMAX movie. What the hell is that?
I have it
JD's
paused.
trying to get
I'm
a
pulling
video
up
fired up.
I'm pulling up well, it's a video, but it's the only way I can pull up an image, and because I have something to add to this, just to add to the scope of what Matt is.
So when you're looking at the universe, right? When you're looking out in the night sky, space is time, right? Because of the speed of light. So the common thing that people know is like the sun takes 8 minutes for light to travel to Earth.
Yeah,
right?
That's common, right?
Right. So everybody sees the sun as it was 8 minutes ago. So if the sun exploded, we wouldn't see it for 8 minutes till the sun, after the sun actually exploded in its relative space. So as you look into the night sky, you're actually looking at stars at many various different time scales, right? You're looking at some stuff, the planets near us minutes ago, further out, years ago, stuff millions of years ago, thousands to millions of years. This telescope is going to look potentially all the way back to moments after the Big Bang.
That's the idea.
Or at least inform us at what the universe looked like at that point in time, which we theorize was shortly after the Big Bang.
How long do you think it'll take to actually get results from that?
About 1.5 years.
No fucking way. I don't believe you. That's hardcore info in 1.5 years?
Yeah. So the satellite is still making its way to the Lagrange point. It's going to take about a week from now, I believe, which the telescope itself is an engineering marvel. There's a couple of really cool YouTube videos people should check out if they're interested. But like even getting this thing out and deployed, there's over 400 points of failure on the telescope. So it's basically all in a tube, and it has to do this really complex unfurling because it has a multi-layer heat shield. It has the telescope itself that has to go out into the tennis court size thing. A lot of very impressive engineering has gone into this thing, where if like one thing fails on the sun sail, for instance, or the sun shield, the whole thing's fucked, because the sun shield is blocking the infrared from the sun from getting to the telescope side, where if any heat from the sun gets on the other side of it, the telescope's absolutely fucking useless.
Wow.
So it's
we got this shit though. We got it. We got this.
So far, so good is the awesome news. So like the sun frame has deployed as of today. The antenna's been deployed. They had such a good launch that the original scope for the telescope was to operate for 10 years. But because they were so fuel efficient and precise with the launch that they didn't have to use much correction fuel, they said it's going to go much longer than 10 years now, because they have the fuel to make the tiny little corrections that they need to in order to stabilize the image for the length of time they need the exposure.
Dude, I wonder what we're going to see then. What the
Yeah.
fuck's that thing gonna pick up?
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
gonna alter religions.
Potentially.
Fuck
right?
no, we're not,
Like,
dude. We might create
well-
new ones, but we're not gonna alter the existing ones.
Like create new ones. Yeah, I guess so.
So an
that's gonna be
absolutely
awesome.
impressive marvel of humanity and engineering and science.
And the amount that we could potentially look and see is like it's almost unfathomable, and it's hard to even like it's hard to wrap my mind around how vast. I love space, but it's impossibly huge, right? And so I've got a picture up. It's in the video. This is a picture from the Hubble telescope that's been out for quite some time now.
It's like low res Star Trek.
And I remember watching a video regarding this image and the science that kind of goes behind it. But what it boils down to is what you're looking at in this image is easily hundreds of galaxies. And when I say galaxies, I'm talking there are millions of stars there with even more millions of objects in their gravitational pull, right? Just like in our Milky Way galaxy. And this picture, with all of the galaxies that you see in it, if you were to essentially look up into the night sky right now, the area that is encompassed in this one image is about the same as the width of your fucking pinky finger if you were to hold it up into the sky.
Wild. That's really
And
wild.
the amount of just nothingness that is in between where we are and where the closest one of these things are in space is, again, I don't want to misquote what I saw because it was a while back, but it's an impossibly long distance between here and even the closest one of those. The scope and scale of our of space is, it's terrifying, but awesome.
Hope they find something wild, like some abandoned, super technologically advanced space station. It's like, oh shit, what is that?
I'm just hitting play on this video. I don't know what's gonna be in here. Hopefully no dicks.
No, I think it just
doubt it'd be
is
dicks.
just a computer animation of James Webb unfurling. Oh, wait, you're showing that, yeah.
I've just got this in the background, but
Ultra
yeah,
deep field.
I am very intrigued as to and excited. Okay, yeah, I don't give a fuck about you, dude. Bye.
Yeah, and I mean the James Webb Telescope's been under development for 25 years. It was a $10 billion project. Which in and of itself is mind blowing, right? Of like now we're working with 20-year-old tech, and like the next thing is already being built.
Like all of commercial airlines. We work on DOS.
We have Linux running up in here, bro. I mean, what was it? The original moon landing, and I've got it muted on my end. I guess.
You got it muted on the stream.
Yeah, I got muted too.
I guess. Was it like when they did the moon landing in '69? They had like 6 gigs of RAM or something like that. You know, to run the system that got us to the moon, and you know, now 6 gigs of RAM isn't enough to run The Witcher. Full circle, baby. Full circle.
He brought it back. Oh man.
Which I guess all of this looking up into the sky and thinking about space and the our pitiful existence amongst the vastness of space. Is there a God? Is God real?
Final topic of the night.
You want to go into that? I got one more about the telescope stuff regarding
Hit me
space.
with the telescope
Say
stuff.
anything about telescope, yeah.
But Jesus awaits.
Yeah.
All right, it's actually a super original question. I don't think anyone's ever discussed this before, so I need you to really think on this one, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Do you think there's life out there somewhere?
Yeah,
Yes,
100%.
absolutely.
100%, no doubts.
1000%, yes.
That'd be the biggest religion upsetter that could ever be done.
No, they sent Bibles to them too.
I think the Pope actually said like aliens probably exist at some point.
Didn't we have a meetup about that recently at Area 51, looking for the hot alien babes?
Yeah, there was the
Dude,
Naruto
yes.
run into the
The
base was the
Naruto
thing.
run.
So that we could dodge the bullets. I think that happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think in our lifetimes we'll discover at minimum microbial life within our solar system, probably on one of Jupiter's planets or Saturn or moons, or one of Saturn's moons, because there's
You said
a lot of
microbial. Like
microbial
microorganisms.
life. Yeah. There's a lot of water activity that happens under the surface. We know that. We just got to get something out there. It's actually a very difficult thing to do, because you have to make sure when you send whatever rocket or rover that it's completely sterile and stays completely sterile, which is very, very fucking difficult to do, that you don't bring life to those areas.
Right.
But
we don't want any invasive species coming in.
Yeah.
here.
We
like
that on
humans.
our own world. We've done that
Yeah.
with like weird species of wasps and shit that have completely fucked places, right? Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what there was a thing where they put like 5 wolves or something into a certain environment, and within a year it like completely changed the entire ecosystem of that area of woods.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you look at that image that we just saw from Deep Hubble, right? Like, it statistically rare, fine, but to be the one out of a literally infinite number.
Y'all want to have a stream party when the image has gotten built in like a year and a half?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like when they're about to announce it, we'll just hang out and talk about it all day. That'd be fun.
I mean, I love anything that has to do with space. I love space so much.
Dude, China got upset about putting things in space recently, didn't they? When Tesla launched their shit or something.
Bro,
Am I right on
fuck
that?
China.
So China exploded a
deserved.
satellite, and
Oh.
they had some debris from that explosion hit another satellite.
I remember that. That was like a year or two ago, wasn't it?
Some recently, like within the past month or so.
No, not in the past
Yeah.
month. In the
Yeah,
past
there was-
month, it was some group launched a satellite. I thought it was Tesla, and it was like gonna fuck with their space station, so they had to actually move their shit out of the way.
Oh, I
You
didn't
know
know that. I didn't hear that.
I
I know people are upset at Elon Musk for Starlink because that's going to require a lot of satellites and
Space
like
debris.
yeah, a lot of space debris, and even astronomers were like, this is going to fuck up our star charting
Yeah.
and our ability to like look out at the sky with our ground-based telescopes.
Capitalism, baby.
Yeah, I mean, wait till that floating billboard starts coming across.
I haven't seen any bristlehead aliens yet, Atral.
Sal says Starlink satellites on the ISS, says Kim. Yeah, Starlink satellites, that's right.
Look,
That
don't get me
was the
wrong.
recent one.
The ISS isn't moving their shit for Starlink. I guarantee that.
I love the idea of Starlink and having accessible internet for basically anyone. If for no other reason that it makes my job easier when I go into the middle of fucking nowhere and they still basically have dial-up. And they want to install the newest Microsoft Flight Simulator onto their computer or Xbox. And I'm sorry, Brian, I don't have 16 days to sit here at your house while we install all the geographic maps on your Xbox.
Geographic map.
So I don't know. Yes, it's
Dude,
to
apparently
me
that's
it's
a problem.
it's impossible that there is not life. Like
But satellites and
sentient
shit.
life.
Oh, my bad. I thought you were done. My bad.
I never know when I'm done. Just cut me off.
I was gonna talk about the satellite debris up there, man. There's
Hit me.
apparently that's a problem having too much shit up there and like stuff falling to
is.
Earth, like what Matt was just
Yeah.
saying.
I think there's well, not there is, but like that's a amazing business opportunity for someone who can figure out how to go up there and clean up space debris.
Yep,
That would
and-
that's another job created.
And
Yeah.
anybody who gets in the way is gonna have Space Force to deal with, because we're gonna go up and colonize
right.
that shit. We're gonna lock off our area, and we got space lasers that will shoot down the communists, the space communists with.
The space communists. Yeah, there's like some world space federation right now. There's no individual country thing regarding space, is there? Like there's a.
I mean, we
Yeah.
got Space Force.
We got Space Force.
Is that an American thing?
It
Yeah.
is
It's a branch of government.
military branch,
Or a branch of military,
for
yeah.
space.
Man, that sounds so fucking 80s.
I
The
mean,
Space Force.
thanks Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess having it's cooler than not having it.
Yes.
So
All
we'll
right.
never live to see the year 3000, but who believes we will have colonization on Mars? Absolutely. I don't know that it'll be. If it happens in my lifetime, I think it'll be. I'll be too. I don't know. I'll be too old.
I think
to really
we'll put
know.
people on Mars. I don't know that we'll colonize it in a meaningful way.
Not
You
in
sign
our
up on the
lifetime.
website, be the first for the one-way trip. Is that still active or is that a scam?
I remember that thing, Mars One, I think it was called.
Yep.
But yeah, I did like we may send a group of people there and see how long they survive on Mars.
Yeah,
but I don't.
You're fucked.
I mean, the ability to send the resources necessary for colonization and also what's needed to colonize Mars, to terraform it, get an atmosphere going.
Matt
have
Damon's
water.
aware of what.
I mean,
needs to
grow
happen.
potato. If you can eat potatoes forever for every meal, you're good.
Just send Matt
which I
Damon up
could.
there. He did it.
I could.
He had
Yeah.
to do it. He had no choice. He survived.
But yeah, I don't think we'll permanently colonize Mars with a new population of people. I don't think that's a thing.
Do you think we're actually gonna fuck the Earth to the point where we have no choice?
Yes.
I think we'll fuck the Earth to the point of no return. I don't know that we'll have an alternative to that.
You think that'll just be that? We may not have like a moon or a Mars.
I
backup.
think the most likely into the human race is the human race themselves.
we are the pestilence. All those video game bad guys were right.
Which you know,
Thanos was right.
although it's not necessarily. Well, I won't even say that. Go if you want a enjoyable yet enraging movie to watch. Go watch Don't Look Up on Netflix.
That's on my list probably tomorrow.
Leo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, and a few other notable names. Jonah Hill. It is essentially it's a movie about how would our it's a little bit of an over the top take on it, but not necessarily so far over the top that it's out of the realm of reality. Of what would happen if there was a giant piece of a comet headed directly on an impact course with Earth that could potentially end life. And it's a dark comedy, and I highly recommend it.
Wait, I saw what happened. Didn't we send a crew of like A-list actors and they land on the meteorite and they got to drill into it and plant like a nuke in it?
And then
Bruce-
Aerosmith,
Bruce Willis saved us from the first
Sing
one.
this
This is another one.
whole new
This
one.
is
it's another one. Oh,
Another
shit.
one.
I don't know about the second one. I don't know if we don't got the same crew anymore.
Yeah.
No, dude, they're done.
Yeah.
We're running out of people. But
So what
but
do you
yeah.
think, Jamie? Are they aliens?
I mean, there's too much room for there not to be, right?
Yeah, that's what I think.
I know the chances of us actually existing here is super, 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 super minuscule, but I mean, when the other alternative is, hey, there's infinite land out there, then there's got to be another group that actually met that threshold, right?
Yeah.
Infinite galaxies and infinite land.
Yep.
All right. So if there's life elsewhere, is there God?
Main.
I'm happy to take it first. I'll take it first.
You'll
All right,
take
go
it
ahead.
first? Okay.
I'll take it first in a very unsatisfying way.
Oh man. All right. Go ahead. That's fine. What we got?
And I'll say that the question is always an open one for me. In terms of like, is there an originator of things? Yeah, for the most part, I'm a person of science. Like I follow evidence, not faith, and I think faith is one of the most toxic things to ever infect humanity. So that points to God as an organized religion figure. I think is absolute horseshit. I think all organized religion on Earth is horseshit. Not because of just any specific disbelief, but because you look at history and religion is just the spoils of war, right? Throughout humanity, wars were fought where kings used religious leaders to back their military efforts, and those people won wars, and that religion carried forward because that war was won. And people, religion has been used for power, for power,
Forever.
kings, for forever. And Jesus being a white dude in the Middle East, just doesn't play for Christianity. But again, I'm not necessarily poking Christianity here. I think all organized religion is just humanity's way of coping with the world, and a way for tyrants to have given a semblance of control over their people throughout human history.
Deep and serious take. It's heavy. I got a simple one. You ready?
Be a big fan now.
It's actually from a show I like a lot.
Okay.
This is what they say, and I pretty much agree with it. We cannot know with certainty if God or Christ exists. Then again, there could be a giant reptilian bird in charge of everything. Can we be certain there isn't? No. So it's pointless to talk about.
Well, his name is Mark Zuckerberg, and he is your metaverse god.
It was from South Park. That's their agnostic family. Like, they're like, it might be God, might not. I don't know.
Yeah, and
Just in
that's
case
kind of
we
where
behave.
I'm at. Like, I'm not necessarily seeking or searching for it. Could be. I'm not ruling it out. But I also think if there is a creator and a god, again, the very organized religion take of that god is very judgmental. That God gives a shit what you do with your life. And again, if there's infinite planets and in our view, infinite life, like that, there would be direct intervention on the things that I do and even what happens on this planet. It just doesn't make sense to me that an all-powerful, omnipotent God gives a shit about our day-to-day.
Yeah, but
would he judge us for the things that we do. And that there would be like the idea of heaven and hell and ultimate judgment. I don't align with any of that.
it's too silly of a concept, right? Because if it is, I think first off, there's too many bad things to say there's something like that going on, and saying that everything happens for a reason. I hate hearing that shit when something terrible happens. It's like, it's okay, it's all part of his plan. No, there's nothing in the plan about this. And
if there was, your God's shitty.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and they're
killing
like
a kid, putting a plague on the planet. Your God's a shitty God if that's
kids
the
with
case.
cancer. Awesome. Super cool. Thanks, dude.
And there was an image that showed Jesus sprinkling COVID on Earth, like, yes. Deal with this, my children.
I love you so much.
Yeah.
Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. Damn it. There's something else I had. Now you go ahead if you got something, Moose. I need a minute.
So I agree, yes, with what Matt. The short answer for me is no. Just no.
I remember.
Go for it. While you got it.
I like the idea of a soul. Like, And that's strictly religious. There's no scientific evidence of a
Right.
fucking soul or some inner spiritual like extra essence. I mean, it sounds cool to me, so I like the concept of it. But
Do you differentiate soul from consciousness?
kinda, yeah, because if we talk conscious, that's just your brain firing off waves saying that, hey, I exist, right? And that's the end of it. Whereas a soul is like after death, like it's something else that's there that does something while your body just rots.
Do animals
So-
have souls then?
Do what?
Do animals,
Animals have souls, or are they just conscious?
If you
See, I
say
don't-
no,
I
your
don't
whole
know.
theory's blown up.
Right.
I would say they have to, right?
According to your theory, yes.
Yeah.
So I mean
Animal
that
soul.
leads to the natural, because I think we're all kind of on the organized religion. God is no,
Mhm.
and in some cases there is no creator, at all. So what happens when we die?
The same
Is-
thing that happens
so-
before we're born, and as far as I know, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't remember shit before I was like 2. Just
I would
What
black.
happens to the soul, Jamie?
I think. Okay, no, this is not what I think. This is what I hope, because it'd be really awesome. That in some form or way you may be reincarnated in some form. To where, like, if you. Because I know new people are always created, so that's impossible to technically be true, because we'd have billions and billions and billions of souls and so few bodies for them to go to, yeah. But maybe you have like a recollection of deep internal, like, I don't know, if you ever experienced deja vu with something you've never fucking done, like maybe your soul or something has experienced something at some point that there's no fucking way you could remember, but it happened long ago. Does that sound like anything? Does that sound like that's reaching out to anything there?
I mean, there's stories, right, for as valuable as that may or may not be, of like kids who talk about their past lives, of like saying, I had this dream that my name was this and I was this years old and this thing happened, and like their parents are like, that's weirdly specific, let me go look that up, and that person at that age did that thing, and there's no way for the 6-year-old kid to know that. Yeah, I mean, probably a glitch in the matrix.
Just a glitch in the matrix.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of in line with that a little bit, but like I take a lot of comfort in I think Carl Sagan talked about it, where I mean, well, one, you have the natural law of the universe where nothing can be created or destroyed, right? Like the things that make us up, the molecules and atoms that make us up, have always existed since the
Yeah.
beginning of time.
Right.
And after we die, those same atoms and molecules will continue to exist well after we're dead, forever, right? So like the things that make us up always have been and always will be. And for me, like, that's a comfort of like, I've always existed, I always will exist. Just the arrangement and space between them will be different, and was different. So that's brought me great comfort in mortality, like thinking about mortality, which when you have kids, you start to think of a little bit more.
Damn, that the atom argument boils way down, because then you got to go from like, okay, at one point you were someone's jizz, but before that you were like a cheeseburger, but before that you were like a cow, but before that, like that.
I mean,
goes
you're even
deep.
thinking even more condensed.
Like,
though, but
we
like
were all stardust,
yeah.
right? At some point, I think is the quote from Carl Sagan.
right.
We were like
my whole entire being wasn't necessarily a cheeseburger or something before. It
Right.
could have been.
That's just a step. That was a step in the system.
Not even just that, but like maybe a few sprinkles of me was on somebody's bacon cheeseburger at one point, but the rest of me was over here in this tree.
a
you know,
dinosaur
like-
shit on the grass that was you at one point.
Red
but yeah, like,
Robin.
for all elements in the universe, they had like elements in the universe come from stars. Element creation happens when stars compress atoms and form heavier and heavier elements, and then it gets spewed out into the universe, and then gravity pulls it all back together and ultimately forms shapes, and in our case it formed life. So we all come from stars, and we all came from the same thing at some point in time that maybe James Webb will tell us at some point.
Yeah, telescope's gonna answer it.
Well,
But and like for me, like that also, as I think about burial and post life, like one of the things that I'm really interested in is doing a biourn burial, where they sprinkle your ashes in with soil and seeds, and they grow a tree, where your body becomes part of the soil, and then
Cool.
you become part of a tree, and then your
That
tree
sounds like
has
something my
seeds.
mom would like a lot too.
Yeah,
I
I
just had
love the
a
idea.
mental image of like your face essentially forming into the tree, and it's like
About the
sentient.
same
You're just
fucking
like,
thing. I wasn't gonna say anything.
kill me.
Character in Fallout.
I did read though the other day on Reddit of like a sad story of like somebody's grandpa or something did it, and like the tree just like started to sprout after a few months, and then it died, and then they're like, okay, well, we can't do anything with the biourn anymore.
Double depression.
What do you do at that point? Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
that's like if nobody takes care of it properly, or like something happens, then fuck.
That hurts. Yeah. I mean, so yes, I am very, very set in my current belief that organized religion, your point, is complete and utter
Doo-doo?
bullshit, and is used as a mechanism of power and control. And what was the quote? If we're talking about your traditional Jesus and the Lord and everything like that, that if your God is all powerful, he can't be all good, and if your God is all good, it's impossible for him to be all powerful.
Yeah.
And it just seems the way that it's framed a lot of times, it's that everything good comes from Jesus, but then everything bad comes from the snake and Adam and Eve, and it's like, okay, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Yeah, that's where I agree with you, and that's all I had to add to it. I've got nothing else to add to it. I'm like, no.
Well, we talked a little bit about organized religion. This is a little off topic with God, but I will say organized religion, if we're looking overall, it's probably done a lot more harm than good, but I don't think we could completely dismiss the some good it has done. Like
I agree.
a general rule of thumb for quite a few religions is typically be good and do good, and that can vary from be good as in make sure everyone else absolutely accepts this religion or kill them because they're fucked otherwise, and be good could also mean, hey, be nice to that guy, be nice to that lady, help these people out, help those people out, be nice, don't be a dick. And
Imagine
I think
you find yourself in the lake of fire with that mentality, brother.
So I think there's two sides to that. I generally agree, like, right, most religion says do good. But I think we see such a propensity for devout religious people to do bad because the religion says you'll be forgiven is one element to it, and also two, their wrong is done with a vision of righteousness, and they believe they're bad to be good. Which leads me to a greater, just I don't know what the word for it is, hate for faith, I guess, is probably the best way to say it.
Hate. All right.
Because I think faith is the greatest con powerful figures have ever played onto the general populace.
Yeah, it's too easy to do. It's faith. You have to have faith, and if you have faith, then the people above you that are saying, "Hey, I'm hearing His word," you have to believe, or you're not part of it, right? Is that what you're talking about?
It's in the face of evidence. Don't believe it.
Oh.
And the greater you are convinced, or the greater you are being shown evidence to be convinced that your religious leader is wrong, the greater you are being tested, and the greater the reward is to reject all evidence against. If you reject that evidence, the more rewarded you are in the religion. So it encourages and rewards just a lack of thought, and which in general humanity is dangerous, but it actively discourages facts, it actively discourages reality, it actively discourages like self-empowerment, and even for the do good thing, right? Like, I will take somebody who has a good moral compass because they want to be a good person over somebody who needs to be told to be a good person and needs to be reminded every Sunday that, hey, you should be a good person. And, you know, if they do something wrong, that they need to go seek redemption for that. But just be a good person because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, but overall, I agree with everything you're saying. As far as organized religions is concerned, I don't know any other way to put this because it makes them sound like they're messed up for even going this path. But there's some people that if they didn't have organized religion, then they would have just been boned. They would have given up. Maybe they would have offed themselves. Maybe they would have done something horrid. But because they thought there was some big guy that backing them and like helping them through a bunch of hard, terrible, awful shit, they had something to rely on, which doesn't necessarily have to be God or religion. It could be a million different things. But if someone's all on their own and they have got nothing to turn to, and they can think, okay, as long as God is with me, I can do this and I'll be all right. When they've suffered through stuff that are, and I can't think of examples. I don't know. Maybe they have hard cancer. They just lost their father. They're in debt from all the bills. They got nothing. They're like, okay, believe in God, pull through. And that gives them the motivation to actually move forward. I can't say religion's truly a bad thing in that example.
No, yeah, and I said it earlier, right? Of like, religion can be a way for people to deal with life.
Yes.
Like for the questions that have no answers, it gives them an answer. And if they didn't have it, they'd go fucking crazy.
Yeah, I think
fair enough.
I don't think she ever watches my streams, fortunately, but I think my mother might be one of those people.
Yeah, and fair enough, right? Like you have no answer for why your child got cancer or for why you got in a bad accident, and it's easy by having something that tells you this was part of the plan, you can deal with it.
Yeah,
fine enough, right? But it's a falsehood to just reality of shit happens.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, overall, I mean, I don't know. I'll go back to the main theme here. God might be real, he might not. I don't know. I kind of just don't. It's more a philosophy discussion at that point, which I'm not. I don't think I'm a very philosophical person, so I don't ever put too much thought into it. Maybe, surely, something. Life is weird. I don't know who did it. Here we are, and that's my only take on it.
I think you're philosophical.
Yeah.
You think so?
You can get deep.
I don't know, man. I play
felt
Mega
you
Man,
go
and
deep.
I talk about random shit. That's what I do. I've been playing Mega Man this whole fucking time. Okay, that's all I care about.
I think that's our last topic, wasn't it?
I think it was, unless y'all got something else you just want to bring up. Anything pressing that's happened recently that we should bring up? I didn't even know about that telescope shit. That's pretty pressing to me.
Yeah, James Webb was the thing I wanted.
I have basically not existed for the last month, so I don't know what's happened. I think there was a good 3-week period where my computer here didn't even get turned on, so I'm just glad that even booted back up.
Yeah.
Hey, Delta's setting records right now, ain't it?
Thank God. Your computer started
Is that
up.
intentional? Thank God.
Yes.
I saw a post earlier. It was like Florida had like, this is probably way wrong, but it mentioned like 46,000 cases and like an extremely short span of time or something like that. Does that sound
Yes.
right?
Yeah, we had the lowest case rate like 2 months ago or a month and a half ago, and now we have the highest case rate. Which we had the highest case rate like back in June or July, and the highest death rate too.
Oh, how the turns have tabled.
Well, I mean, what I had said a month ago, whenever conservative friends were saying, Florida is doing it right, we have the lowest," I was like, because everybody died in July. We had the highest in July.
What you just stone cold face said to him?
They died, so now we have the lowest. Because either you're vaccinated or dead.
There is an essence of truth to that, because you got, you know, a situation where you got it and you either got extremely sick and either nearly died or died, or you got it and you didn't experience many extreme symptoms, and it just reinforced your fucking belief that there's nothing to worry about with this shit. And then there is some time where you're much less likely to get it, but that shit only lasts for so long. It's gonna go in cycles, and we're gonna see a burn through. So yeah.
What's good is that Omicron it has characteristics of the
It's Omicron, not Delta. I fucked that up.
Yeah, Omicron has characteristics of a endemic, which is a highly virulent. It spreads easy. Yeah, virulent. A highly virulent variant that has low lethality. That tends to be what a pandemic ends on, because everybody catches it. Not a whole lot of people die, but everybody gets an immune response if they didn't get a vaccine. So this may be like the last major variation, if not probably one more, and then it will probably just become something like the flu, where we get the weird like H1N1 flu every so often. We'll have a weird Delta, or we'll have a weird COVID thing, happen, pop up every couple of years, where like a weird mutation comes out that's actually deadlier than most. But I think we're wrapping this whole COVID thing up.
My mom's sister and her boyfriend have it right now.
Are they all right? They're good.
Yeah, they're okay as far as I can tell. I mean, they sound fucking terrible, but they're like, doing okay. Lacey was really upset about it. Last I actually talked to her about it, she said she couldn't she lost her sense to completely taste and smell. I think
that sucks.
And there's been stories about people who get COVID, they lose that shit and it doesn't come back. So she was super freaked out about that shit.
Not being able to taste again.
I was talking to somebody at work about this, and I was just saying, if for no other reason that I completely want to avoid catching this shit is just the off chance that I could potentially lose some of my senses. I don't want that shit. I like food and smells too damn much for some dumb shit. Take it away from me. I
never enjoy
refuse.
some great wings again.
Oh my god, dude, you're gonna depress me right now. What an awful existence that would be.
Yeah, it's happening. It's happening to folks.
I don't want some fucking smoked wings.
Fucking shout out to the family.
That was the last thing on my mind, though. If y'all don't have anything else, I'm good to roll, or we can do whatever.
Yeah, I got nothing else. Matt, you got anything?
Good to go.
Okay.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
2021 in the bag.
This is the last stream for the year of our Lord 2020. We appreciate you guys being here with us. Let me see something here real quick.
Okay. See something.
We are...
See something, say something.
We are very close. We are 50 views away from our 12,000th view, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So, yeah, guys, gals, ladies, gents, thank you so much for being with us this year. It's been difficult year. It's been an interesting year. Sal with the 5 gifted subs. Thank you, Sal.
Including Jamie's wife, who should have
Yeah.
been subbed already.
Yeah. Yeah, what's up
Wait,
with that?
really?
Yeah.
Hold up. The fuck, Kim?
Way to
Dude,
support your
busted.
husband. Jeez.
Busted.
Who you giving that free sub to? Find out afterwards.
We are still in kind of a Sal pays my sub. We're in kind of a weird downtime still, just from holiday stuff. We are in the works and getting things back up and running on a reliable schedule. So we are going to be back on Monday with Descent into Avernus. Is your Wednesday? You still doing Wednesday shit, right?
Yeah, we didn't meet up most recently because it's a weak ass reason. I don't want to say we didn't meet up because people couldn't make it. I'll put it that way.
That's
There you
fine.
But next Wednesday, we're for sure meeting back up to go into the next one shot.
Okay.
I don't even know what that is yet.
Oh, neat.
Well,
but I
no
do.
spoilers here. And then Thursday we'll be back for some more of this shenanigery.
If there's things you want us to discuss, send them to us.
Yeah, let us
Yes.
know here or on Twitter, or send me a text. Most of you guys know us. Our rhyme campaign, is going to fucking continue. I promise, ladies and gentlemen. I fucking promise. This last month has been impossible for me to have time to plan and or set up and or run the campaign, thanks to work. And then this month is a little crazy, just coming off the back end of it. I'm getting my COVID booster next weekend, so there's a chance that you're not going to be doing it next week like I thought and hoped that we would, but I would like to get this booster over and done with, especially since I'm going to Nashville the weekend after. So I think now we're looking more like end of January to get going back on Rhyme again, and hopefully from there, if what is it? I don't know. I was gonna whatever the trifecta is, the Lord, the God, the Holy Spirit. If they will it, then we'll be back on a regular.
I can hear in his voice. Moose feels so bad having to cancel these sessions.
Dude, I look as a DM, I look at it as my responsibility to properly plan and properly and accurately dictate, when sessions are going to happen, and I have not been able to do that over the past 6 weeks, and it's really, really frustrated me. But I promise you, it is at literally, I think about it every single day, and it's at the forefront of my mind, and I'm working on it. So end of January, I promise we will be back on Saturdays doing that. But the silver lining is this gives me plenty of time to prepare what is essentially the third act of our Rhyme campaign, and there's some juicy stuff coming. Yeah, that's all I got. Thank you all again. We love you. We stan all of you, and y'all have a happy new year, and we'll see you in 2022.
Happy New Year, folks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.